I couldn't have imagined, even in a nightmare, that I would end up leaving my country 3 to 4 months ago. It feels like tomorrow I'll take the plane or car back. Darya has been stripped of her right to do sports or take part in competitions. After the reply, I don't see the possibility of her continuing her career in Belarus.
This is Darya Dolidovich and her father, Sergei.
It all happened due to such made-up reasons. I see no chance for her to continue doing what she loves and make her dream come true.
The 17-year-old cross-country skier was barred from competing for her country of Belarus because her father supported the opposition to current president Alexander Lukashenko.
I had planned to finish school in Belarus, but my parents said they were moving. I think it's for the best, for my father as well.
While the Dolidoviches have fled to Poland, this story is about the muscle of Lukashenko, his party, and the attempts to silence those who do not support his alleged rigged candidacy. In Minsk, demonstrators protested the election win of Lukashenko.
The place that I'm standing here right now is actually state TV, which is normally a big propaganda arm of Alexander Lukashenko's regime. However, here, the anchors have walked off. They say they want to report truthfully on the protests that are going on, and they also want to be able to report on the detentions and that crackdown that have been happening.
Riot police pushed back against the demonstrators, deploying water cannon and firing tear gas and rubber bullets. Incumbent President Lukashenko had warned he would crack down on any unauthorized rallies.
Protests have erupted in cities across Belarus after longtime leader Alexander Lukashenko won a 6th term in the country's election Sunday. Demonstrators and the main opposition candidate in the election have rejected official results, calling the election blatantly rigged. According to a government-sponsored exit poll, Lukashenko won 80% of the vote against 4 rivals, avoiding a runoff vote. The 65-year-old has been Belarus's president since 1994.
The fraud was blatant. The Associated Press reported a poll worker in Minsk said she was asked to sign a document summing up its result with the vote totals left blank. Another worker who pointed out violations during the vote counting was fired on the spot. In the small city of Vitebsk, a poll worker signed a document with falsified results in favor of Lukashenko and later was racked with guilt for betraying the trust of the voters. Wait a minute, fraud so one unpopular politician can win? Where have we heard this before?
China has total respect for Donald Trump and for Donald Trump's very, very large brain.
Election workers interviewed by the AP told the outlet they saw ballot fraud or were pressured to falsify results in favor of Lukashenko. In addition, other evidence has been posted online showing falsifications and other irregularities.
Today, the number of political prisoners in my country turned 1,000. These Belarusians have lost their personal freedom simply because they had the courage to seek justice in their country.
This is Svetlana Tikhanovskaya, who was Lukashenko's main opposition. The dictator sentenced her husband to 18 years in prison. He serves as a blogger and activist who heavily opposed Lukashenko. Thus, they jailed him in a court case that took place behind closed doors. After his Fugazi win, Lukashenko cut off the internet and flooded the streets with riot police. In effect, reports the Post, 1 protester was killed and more than 2,000 were detained for taking part in the protests. Which gets us back to the Dolidoviches. Darya was a rising star, following in her dad Sergei's footsteps, who is a 7-time Olympian. He took part in street protests for democracy in Belarus, and the government did what they do best under Lukashenko, silence them. Sergei, who coaches his daughter, said he quit his job at a national training center after coming under pressure for his support of the opposition. Quote, "The state can no longer have an impact on me," he said. "It can only do so through my daughter. Darya has been stripped of her right to take part in competitions," he said. "I don't see the possibility of her continuing her career in Belarus. We could be accused of staging a demonstration and shouting opposition slogans, then just be sent to prison. It all happened due to such made-up reasons. I see no chance for her to continue doing what she loves and make her dreams come true." Several prominent Belarusian sports figures joined opposition protests in 2020, an unusual move in a country where the state heavily subsidizes athletes. Some were jailed, others lost their state employment or were kicked off national teams.